Hi everyone, my name's Tasha Belfort, and this is Becoming Her Anyways. Do you ever have those periods of life where nothing's really going on and you're kind of at home and maybe, you've cut off quite a lot of people because they were toxic, and so you don't really have a huge amount to do? And you notice that this is often the time when you self-sabotage, like you might go back to an ex, you might reach out to a toxic friend, you might download TikTok out of boredom. Let's talk about this because I feel like in this society, being bored, or in other words, having peace, is not really valued. I think we do often mistake peace with boredom because most of us have brains that are so addicted to drama and chaos that when no one is upsetting us or, creating this awful environment, we're just kind of bored. Like, you know what? Like, I miss this person, or, I wish I could go out with this person, or, let me go on this like app so I can, have an interesting life. And I feel like often we don't appreciate peace. I feel like I sometimes don't understand that when I'm sitting at home and I'm by myself and, I haven't got a huge amount of friends because, I have standards and I won't allow people to disrespect me and get away with it. I don't realize how privileged I actually am to be able to sit here and be like, you know what? No one is obsessed with me right now. You know what? Like, I was actually thinking, like, what can I even record an episode on today? Because generally, when I am feeling very passionate and very emotional about something, it makes a great episode, right? When I spend my summer just kind of like sitting with myself, spending a lot of time by myself, going on solo walks, yes, obviously, sometimes it's not as exciting as, if I was in some kind of situationship, right? Let's use that disgusting word. Or if I was, talking to my ex boyfriend, because this is the things that I did last year to stop myself from feeling like this. And then I feel like this year I kind of just took it in and was like, wow, like I feel peace. Like I'm not having to, get over any trauma. I'm not trying to, fight with anyone or, argue with anyone or trying to get back at anyone, and it's very peaceful. And I feel like a lot of people do mistake this for boredom and they go, oh my God, like how can I live without this drama? And I feel like we often wish that bad things would happen so that, we'd have something to talk about. And obviously, like as human beings, we want to gossip. And obviously, I'm not going to say that I don't gossip because I do gossip and it would be such a big lie if I said I didn't. But generally, I feel like just staying with yourself and, understanding what you want for your future, I feel like it's so important. Like this time, you could be using to create something. Like literally, guys, when I was literally sitting in my little peace era, right, which I am right now before I go to university, just kind of being with myself, evolving myself, right? I was walking through London and I just had this like intuition. I was like, I should make a podcast. And it's crazy now because all that took was me just walking through London by myself. If I had never walked through London by myself, I never would have done it. I never would have started a podcast because if I had been with my friend or something, I would have been talking to them. And, when I always think about, creating, I feel like creating is such a beautiful thing. Like, guys, I love doing this podcast. And honestly, if you have a knack for talking, like if you can, talk about a lot of things like me, if you're very passionate, then you should start a podcast too. I have listeners from all over the world now. I have listeners from New Zealand, Australia, Ecuador, Canada, Switzerland, all of these places. And it's crazy because it's just people all over the world who want to connect to me, right? And I love it. I just love it because I just love that I can speak people's truths. And I want to encourage people, to talk more about certain things, whether it's society or whatever. But guys, like, I really do love doing this podcast, but I would never have created it if I wasn't in that peace of mind. And I realized that I started actually feeling peace not even that long ago, honestly, because I was just like in my own world. I talked everything out to ChatGPT. I told ChatGPT all of my trauma, everything that I was like, having heavy on my heart. I talked it out and I got rid of it. And it's so freeing. Nothing can phase me. Even though I do have certain triggers, I am very mindful of those and I have made it clear to everyone around me. Please do not talk about, this specific situation because the situation could bring out negative emotions in me. But honestly, guys, like, I feel so healed and alive. And it's because I cut off everyone who did me wrong on purpose, right? Everyone who deliberately treated me in a way that I didn't deserve to be treated, they're all gone. And I don't care what they're doing and I'm not interested. And, I have my best friend who, I'm very close with. And we have a very high quality friendship. I just love it so much. I could literally do a whole episode on that. But I feel like in this point in my life, I'm just kind of with myself. And yeah, like I talk to men, sometimes like, go through a bit of a texting phase, but I don't really care too much. Like, honestly, I just feel alive just being by myself. And I don't really need this anymore. Like, when I was younger, I wanted this drama. I wish that, this person would come back and this person would do this. And now I just don't care. And I feel like you guys have to learn how to live with peace and how to not even live with it, but thrive in it because it's the best thing. Do you know that striving to be your best self is literally such a big privilege? Do you know how many people wish that they could go out and be their best selves, but they're just currently struggling to survive? They're in an abusive household, they're struggling with poverty, like all of these horrible things. You guys don't realize how privileged you are to even be listening to me right now. on whatever screen. You guys are privileged and I'm privileged too. And I feel like we don't understand this. Living in peace is amazing. And we just stop sabotaging because often it's this time that we'll go and do something stupid. Yes, obviously, I have thought about doing stupid things. I have thought about, oh, what if I get revenge on my ex-boyfriend by sending him this photo of me with this guy? Or what if I post this on my story to upset all my ex's friends? Like, you get all these like thoughts. You're like, oh my God, what if I did this? But then you kind of realize, like, I don't want to live that way. Sometimes I laugh, guys. I get evil thoughts. I'm like, oh my God, like, what if I did this? But like, you have to understand that if you get these thoughts, like, it's better just laugh at them and go, yeah, whatever. But like, you never want to actually get revenge on anyone because, guys, your karma will be so bad. If you try deliberately to go out of your way and upset someone, I guarantee you'll be 10 times, 100 times more upset. Because I've done that when I tried to get revenge on this person, when I was younger. Guys, I always got the biggest karma hitting me, right? Because at the end of the day, these people are miserable people. These people need toxicity. They need drama to survive. They need you and your negativity to thrive on. And if you don't give it to them, they will try to attack you. They'll try to get it from you. You just have to ignore them. You just have to go, no, I'm a good person. Guys, don't let your karma be screwed up. Honestly, that's the biggest mistake that you could do. Because generally, if you go out into the world and you try to upset someone deliberately, you try to, evoke negative emotions from people, you will be hit 10 times harder. It's how it works. I don't know how it works exactly. Maybe someone who does quantum physics can explain, but this is exactly how it works. Enjoy the peace that you have right now because it's not forever. Okay, obviously, I understand, you want more interesting things to happen. Maybe you want to make new friends. And if you're literally on a trajectory where you're like, okay, you're going to university or, you're starting a new job or whatever, that's going to happen. So just enjoy it right now. Enjoy it while, you're not married, you don't have children. Guys, men are taught this. Men are taught have as much fun as you can while you're young. Women, take this advice. Have as much fun as possible while you're young and don't worry about anything else because this is literally what men are taught. And honestly, look how happy they are, okay? These men are just thriving. We need to thrive too, okay? We deserve it too. I feel like, honestly, appreciate the space that you're in. Appreciate this time because you'll never get it back. I feel like we often think like, okay, I'll be happy when this happens or this happens. I have a holiday in a few weeks coming up, but I haven't like just wished my life away because I know that once the holiday's gone, it's gone. And so I haven't just been like, oh, I'm gonna be happy when I go on holiday. No, like I enjoy being at home. I go to the gym, I go to Pilates, I go to yoga, meet up with my friends. I make podcast episodes. Guys, I am really passionate about this podcast. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm really proud of how far it's come. And I just want to thank you guys so much for it, honestly. But I can't lie, like when I'm in my peaceful mode, like it's kind of difficult for me to make such motivational episodes. I feel like I have talked a lot about what I've wanted to. So before something bad happens to me, you guys are just gonna get these very like chill episodes. When something bad happens to me, I love making a podcast because I just genuinely think like this is how I get all my emotions out. This is how I create and like try to help other people. This has been a little bit of a rant. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a little bit free flowing. Normally I have a little bit more of a structure. As you can see in my other episodes, I'm a bit more educational. Today we're just kind of talking about peace. Honestly, guys, like I said, peace is the point of life. If you have inner peace, there is nothing that can bother you, nothing external. Because at the end of the day, we cannot be getting our love and our excitement and everything just from the external. We have to be having it within ourselves. We have to be content within ourselves. We cannot just be relying on the external because you will be disappointed, okay? And you cannot be relying on a specific person for happiness or whatever. It doesn't work, okay? You're your own human being. You need to have control over your own emotions. And if you're sitting here right now and you're just kind of like, wow, like life is so boring right now, great, amazing, because that is where you'll thrive. That is when you can, go to the gym and go and study or whatever. Like, guys, living in peace is amazing because no one is abusing you. Do you know how many people right now are being abused and they're stuck in families that they can't get out of? Be so grateful right now that you feel bored because people in fight or flight mode do not feel bored, okay? They feel constantly scared, constantly terrified that something's going to happen, that someone's going to scream at them, that they need to act in a specific way, otherwise they're going to get abused. So guys, just be so thankful that right now you're free and you are free to do whatever you want. You're free to listen to this podcast, you're free to go outside, because people don't have this privilege. A lot of people do not have the privilege that you have. So don't complain that you're bored and don't start anything. Don't start arguments. Don't go and try to rekindle old connections. Don't do that. Just think of it as like you're starting new and you're moving on. Okay? If you're bored, it's amazing. Because at the end of the day, this is where you're going to find out who you are. You're going to get some inspiration to do something. The more bored you are, the more alone you are, the more productive you'll be. Okay? Like I said, this podcast started from my peace, from me being bored and being like, oh, I have nothing to do. Oh my God, I should make a podcast. And that was it. And the rest was history. I literally got home and made an episode and released it. And that was that. So guys, thank you so much for listening to my little rant. I just again want to say that I just love doing this podcast, and you guys honestly give me life. Like when I look at my analytics and I'm like, oh my god, it's gone up. Like I just love it. And thank you guys so much for listening. So my name is Natasha Belfort, and this is Becoming Her Anyways.